Well, hello everyone, good morning and welcome to the channel. As promised, as I've been going on about for months and months, I'm finally going to do a travel vlog. Bit of an interesting job. Obviously some people will have seen me on our little vape show, on the late night vape show channel, and other people won't. But in my real life, I drive Hackney carriage number 3 for, self-employed, but through West Lindsey District Council. And I've just left my home in rural Lincolnshire I'm actually going to Belfast, just outside Belfast, obviously in Northern Ireland. So I'm travelling from where I live up the A1 onto the M62 over to Birkenhead to get there for, they sail at 10:30 this morning over to Belfast for an 8-hour ferry ride. And then in the morning, obviously I won't be able to film anything tomorrow. I'm actually picking somebody up. This is for a company. These jobs come very, very rarely where you actually get to do this. So it'd be interesting. I've never actually drove onto a ferry before. I've been away with the lads on the Hull to Rotterdam, on the sort of boozy nights and rough sleeping and that type of thing, but this is actually for work. So I'm going to drive onto the ferry, obviously in the taxi, and when I get there, drive off, and then I think it's about 20 miles away. We're not really going to go into that, obviously, because it's for a company and it's a privacy sort of thing. So tomorrow I'm going to pick a gentleman up and take him somewhere back over on the mainland here, and drop him off. So I just thought it'd be interesting. I've been threatening to do a travel vlog for a long, long time, and since the pandemic we've not really travelled. So this is a good opportunity. Obviously I'm travelling. Northern Ireland is in the UK, just to be clear for people that don't know. So there's no COVID test required, because obviously I'm basically still in the UK, and so there'll be no quarantining and stuff like that. You don't actually need a passport to travel across to Belfast, obviously, which seems a bit weird when you're getting onto a device to travel, because obviously all the other travelling I've ever done requires a passport. So hopefully we'll be able to make it quite interesting for you. I'm just recording on an iPhone and I've not really got anything set up. This little fluffy thing here, by the way, is I haven't brought my pet cat with me. It's it's one of those lanyard microphones, so I've clipped that on there. I've just checked the audio and it seems pretty good for less than I think it was less than £20 anyway. So there's an idea for vloggers when you're buying your roads and stuff like that at £200 a piece. This was 20, but obviously it has to be wired in, so you need to plug it in the bottom of your iPhone with an adapter. It's no good for streaming because it'll only do one thing. So obviously it's your headphone socket as well, so your microphone plugs into the bottom of the phone, and that's all you can actually do is talk outwards, not inwards. So you can't listen to anything. So it's no good if you want to do that. So you'll need a headset or something like that. But anyway, we're just up at Blythe roundabout on the A1, and we're going to head A1 north, and then I'll get on the M62 towards Manchester and Liverpool. I've still got my earpiece in here because as I get nearer to that, I've got the sat nav on the other phone. So that's what we'll be doing. So I'll come back later on as we get a bit nearer. I'll do a little bit of footage as I change motorways to add to it, and we'll see if we can make it as interesting for you as it probably is going to be for me. I'm going to stay in a bed and breakfast this evening because of the pandemic. It's self-checking, so I didn't want any breakfast anyway, but I won't be getting any, so that's the end of that. Because they don't do breakfast until 7 in the morning. I've got to be on the ball. We've got to be back on the ferry in the morning for 9:30, so that means an early start again tomorrow. It's a little bit strange for me if you've never seen I've got pretty half closed eyes this morning. I'm usually a night worker, so I went to bed early, but you tend to stay awake half the night waiting for the alarm to go off, because obviously it's an important job, and you don't want to be late up, so you're sort of really conscious of what time you've got to get up, which doesn't really give you a lot of time to sleep. But anyway, I've got nothing to do today other than travel, so it's not like I'm digging holes for a living. So I'm just joining the I'll let you have a little look. I don't know if I can turn the camera around while it's recording. No, I can't. So I'll let you have a little look in a minute. I'll stop the voice recording and I'll turn it round and let you have a little look at the A1. A1 North, M62, which will be west, past Manchester, down to towards Liverpool. That's what I've looked at on the sat nav. Basically nowadays you don't sort of follow the map, do you? You just press a button and it takes you there. So I like to have a look to see where I'm going. It's all M62. And you come off on under the tunnel and onto 12 Key. I think that's how they pronounce it, how they actually say it, with Key 12 or 12 Key, which is the Stena Line's key for the ferry from Birkenhead to Belfast. It was a bit weird. I've got the ticket, obviously it was booked on behalf of me by this company, and there isn't anywhere on the ticket what just actually says the postcode of the place you want. I had to Google it. Obviously not being from there, you're a bit concerned. So and the last thing you want to do is end up at Stena Line's head office somewhere in the middle of Liverpool. So I had to check it. It's not the most accessible address, really. It's a bit weird, really. As soon as if you go into an airport, you just put whatever airport, it comes straight up with the address. But it was a bit hidden, really. One thing I've noticed as I'm travelling up the A1, there's a lot of different fuel garages. They don't want lorries in. If I had a fuel garage and somebody pulled up and wanted 100 gallons, I'd rather sell them that than somebody what pulls up and wants 20 quid's worth. So not sure why that happens. If you've got your own fuel garage and you don't want a lorry in there, please leave an answer in the comments below. So we're just coming up. You always know you're doing okay when you're looking for the M62 when you see Ferry Bridge Power Station. So just keep in left here to join the M62 and go towards Manchester, so I presume that's west, obviously. Obviously now the Ferry Bridge has been closed. Looking at this, there's a gas power station next to it. I always remember years ago they always used to say, oh, we're running out of gas, and they must have found some more at some point, because there's all the coal-fired ones are now turned into, they built a gas one next to it, should I say. Going under the tunnel. I can't think what that would be. It's the roundabout tunnel. This isn't the furthest I've ever been as a cab driver. Once before, I used to do a lot of work for a company before, and they rang me up one Thursday night and they said, we're over in Chicago and we've left the sales brochures with the correct denominations behind. Could you fly over tomorrow and bring us some? So at the next morning I went to Manchester Airport, took 5 suitcases full of sales brochures and flew to Chicago O'Hare, went to a convention centre and dropped them off for him, stayed the weekend. So obviously that one, and I parked the car at the airport, so that wasn't really a cab journey, but this is by far the most interesting I've ever probably done actually in a cab. I've been some place. I used to go to Heathrow about 3 times a week for the same company as I went to Chicago for. I used to go that regularly. I could even tell you the price of a smoked salmon and cream cheese sandwich in Heathrow's Terminal 3 Marks and Spencer's, and it wasn't as much as you would think it was. It was about, at the time, just over £1. It's a good few years ago now though. Obviously over this last year I don't think I've been to the airport once, only once to go to Turkey for myself, so we're just properly joining the M62 now. This is like Speed Camera Alley when you get a bit further up here. Just coming past the house in the middle of the motorway in Saddleworth, I always wonder what it must be like to live in the middle of 6 lanes of motorway. You can imagine when they built it, how quiet it was up the top of this hill. It was always different people say different things, but I remember everybody sort of saying that they offered him a load of money for it and he wouldn't sell, and then somebody said they actually heard on a interview somewhere that this guy was never offered any money to sell his place, and they just built the motorway around him. So which one's true, I've no idea. If you do know, let us know in the comments below. So we're now on the M62 summit, which is the highest motorway in England at 372 metres, which is 1,221 feet above sea level. Just starting to tip down now towards Manchester. So we're all checked in, just waiting on the docks to go onto the boat, and the first time ever, you can't see it because I'm parked in a queue of cars now, but there's I can see the Liver building. I've never actually been to Liverpool. I've been to John Lennon Airport, which is Speak, but I've never actually travelled to Liverpool, so I've never seen the Liver building before. It's quite cool for me because I've never actually travelled to Liverpool before, never seen the Liver building, never been under the Mersey Tunnel, and obviously never been on a ferry to Ireland either. The people who I've spoke to so far, they say, "Oh, what are you going for?" in a taxi, joking like, "Oh, you're going to pick somebody up?" I say, "Well, actually I am." So the 2 people who've asked me so far seem quite amused. Well, one of them was a police officer, so we'll see what happens when we get back. Forgot to mention the Museum of Liverpool. That's a really cool looking futuristic building. So I'm presuming this is the ferry across the Mersey. That's how you do a 3-point turn in a ferry. It's mad that. So we're off. Just turn the ferry down round in the middle of the river. So we've got Liver building there on our right now. And off we go out the docks. It didn't even seem to be revving up yet. So. There we go. Just leaving Birkenhead. I tell you what, it's getting windy up here. In the distance, nice selection of oil rigs, and you can't really see them because of the mist. A lot of wind turbines as well. Not very good. Not very good for seeing out here. Oh, there you go. Some more over there. You can't really see them either. I'm pleased I brought my coat. Absolutely freezing out here. So here we are again. Just got back into the car bay, deck 7. I was going to do some recording on top of the boat as we came into the harbour, but I got talking to somebody, to be honest. I got talking to a Northern Irish guy, and he was just chatting away. And I missed it, so that's not going to happen. You'll have to do that yourselves. So I don't know how long the wait's going to be. They've got the doors open ready, so I suppose we're just waiting to be off. I didn't get anything recorded on the way in, so hopefully I'll get a video of leaving the vessel. So it's a bit of a sharp ramp, to be honest. You know you've gone down it. Right, here we go. Just this last line, everybody's fast asleep in the cars when they've been sat here ages. And now they've decided they can go. I don't know. It's always the same, isn't it? There's always like the last one to get on the aeroplane. But anyway, can't complain. Quite smooth. Didn't dock while 6:30, and now we're just about to get off the ship. 13 degrees here, and inside this ship it feels like about -10. Hopefully this will come out well on the video. Go down the log flume. Try not to run the nose end of the car into the got all these lorry trailers parked here. Huge. the car, and it's not clamped to the windscreen or anything like that. I thought I'd see if I enjoyed doing it before I spent a load of money on cameras and stuff. There's a signpost for Belfast. Turn right here because it says Belfast to the right, or if you turn left it's a dead end, so it's definitely right. First impressions, apart from it doesn't look, the weather's not particularly good, it looks absolutely gorgeous. There's a massive great hill just in front of me now. I don't know if you can see it, but it looks really nice. What a nice place. According to the guy that I was talking to on the ship, if it says 22 miles, you'll do it in 22 minutes because the traffic's not as heavy in Northern Ireland as what it is obviously in England. So spent a lovely day, sat on board. As I say, I was going to do as we were going into port, I was going to do a bit of a film there, but never happened. Got talking to this guy. So you have to come and do that bit yourself. This is Fort William roundabout, so if you've never been, now you know. I better not run into the back of him, otherwise that'll be pretty iffy. We're going on the M2. Find out when you go to a place like this, there's always a lot of people that know a lot better where they're going than what you do. go, 3-lane motorway. Pretty quiet for traffic, gotta say. First thing you noticed in Belfast was the architecture. Some sort of nice shaped buildings and sort of different decorations or what. I'm on the M1. So I've already been on the M2 and now I'm on the M1. And according to the signpost I'm just going past, if you wanted to go to Dublin, it's 101 miles. But obviously we're not going there. On the M1 for 13 miles according to my sat-nav lady. I'm going to a place called Moira, that's where my B&B is. So I'll be checking in there when I get there, and I'll have to go find some tea because I don't think there's anything available in the accommodation, because it's one thing it's bed and breakfast and the other thing it doesn't open, the breakfast doesn't open well 7:30 a.m. so I'll have to go and find something. This has been a really good experience. I've really enjoyed it, to be honest. I've never been to Northern Ireland. I've never took my own car on a ferry. So there's two things. I'm 55 this year, and that's two things I've never done. So it's been worth that for the excursion. Obviously, it's a job as well, which is an amazing thing when you actually get paid to do something you enjoy. I remember my brother's 50th. He came to Northern Ireland. We were actually away somewhere else, so we missed out on the opportunity, which is a shame, because you can actually come across there with a few mates, come across on the ferry. It's a bit of a long way from where I live to get onto the ferry, which I suppose would be the downside of it, but you can come across, stay a couple of days, have a look round, come with a wife or something like that. It's weird because normally when you travel somewhere and on a mode of transport, i.e. abroad, first thing you always do is look at the fuel prices. Obviously we're still in the United Kingdom, so they're just about the same. I don't know if anybody else does that, but that's what I always do. As soon as you get to a different country, usually when you're travelling abroad on your holidays, the first thing you do is you try and convert their currency into how much they're paying a litre. Well, in Northern Ireland, diesel's 126 a litre and unleaded is 123, which is just the same as what it is on the mainland. So first, another thing I've noticed is obviously I've seen in our local town when people come visiting from Northern Ireland, they've got different registration numbers, different styles of registration numbers, and like that one in front, you can't see it, I've got the camera pointing back now, but like VNZ or something like that, and then numbers, whereas obviously ours start differently. But since I've got off the ferry, most of them they've been actually the English style number plates. There's a lot of 18 regs and stuff like that. So I'm not sure why that is. Anyway, I'll come back to you just before or as we get to the little place where I'm going to, and we'll have a quick look round there on the way to the B&B by putting the camera forward. So we'll get back to you soon. Right, here we're coming up to our junction now. We're only about 4 miles away from where we need to be. So. Fair share of potholes anyway, just the same as us. There we are, Moira, A3. microphone being very near, you can actually hear my breathing. So, but everybody breathes. It's a broken down Volvo there. You don't normally see them. This is the world's biggest roundabout. If you're watching this and you're in America, a roundabout is a thing that you don't know what to go around. Don't know why I keep looking, because of the other shit. We're out. So here we are, outside the Ralph's B&B in Moira, and that's the destination that we're going to. So that's the end of this first travel vlog that I've ever done. Not sure whether you have enjoyed it or whether it was any good or not. Obviously it's the first one I've ever done, and a bit more complicated when you've got to drive yourself. The good news is there's a chip shop next door. So guess what I'm having for tea. Thanks everybody for bothering to watch, and hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it, so I hope you've enjoyed it. And hopefully, if you have, you'll probably give us a quick thumbs up and leave any comments you like. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching, and bye bye.